There's a lot of things I don't know. There's a lot of things I'm still trying to figure out. But one thing I do know, it's that as a follower of Jesus, my job is to love people well. Bottom line, that's it.
Yep.
And so there's 1,000 theological things that people get really passionate about debating. I don't even care. I definitely don't care to argue it because maybe you're right. Maybe I'm right. It doesn't matter. That's not the issue.
Welcome to episode 10 of the Leading Smart podcast, season 2, all about 40 lessons and 40 years from Tim Stevens. I didn't call you Baby Yoda yet on this season, so I feel like now's the time.
No, I don't think you need to call me Baby Yoda.
Or I called you Yoda, and then you were like, but baby, you didn't like that. And then you were like, oh, Baby Yoda is at least cute. That was what happened.
Is that how that happened?
I
Okay.
think so.
Thanks
Well, anyways,
for the refresher.
the Yoda has created 40 lessons that he's learned over the last 40 years. And today we're going to go over 4 of them in this episode. But we have not gotten the opportunity to go over all of them in this season because 40 is a lot. And we didn't want to do 40 episodes.
Yeah.
So make sure you download the ebook at LeadingSmart.com where you can get all of those lessons. So I'm going to pick random ones, Tim, that we haven't gone over yet. And then we're going to finish with a fun segment called Finish My Sentence, which I'm excited about.
That'll be
And a
fun.
little nervous about.
Chad's going to help us.
Yeah. Okay. So number 36 in the ebook is Take Your Fun With You. Ministry is hard enough. Don't forget to laugh. Joy is a choice. So bring it with you. That's so sweet, Tim.
Yeah. And this is one our kids could quote this one because my wife and I said it all the time growing up when we were raising the kids.
Which part of it? The take your fun with you?
Take your fun with you.
That's awesome.
Yep. Because, kids, we all kind of get to a place where we're whining or griping or tired or whatever. And it's like, where's your fun? Did you bring it with you? Did you bring your fun with you? And really putting that onus on yourself. So really learned this from Mark Beeson at Granger when we were there. And I remember he always used to talk about, the journey, and the journey is the destination. So it's not all about just the destination. And I remember anytime we had a team that was ready to go on a missions trip or go to camp or whatever, and so everyone go to the church and you're getting on buses or whatever. And before we got on buses, he'd get everyone in a circle and he'd say, "All right, some of you are thinking like it's going to start when we get there." He says, "Nope, it starts right now, right here. Like this is it. This is the journey. It's not going to get any better than this. We're here. We're doing this together. This is what it's about." And it really is a sense of what you're doing is what you make of it, and it's going to be about what you bring to it. I remember talking to Danny Watterson about this, and Danny's like, Enneagram A and super driven, and he said, it's not the journey, it's the destination. We have something to achieve and all that. And it's like, yes, yeah, I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, but it is also about the journey. At Willow, we did our staff values, and one of the values that our team landed on was choose joy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that it's actually a choice. And I remember Ed Ollie was like, he was kind of the champion for this choose joy mantra that we had. And then way back in the day, this is back in the, 70s, 80s, I used to listen to this radio program by Chuck Swindoll. Did you ever listen to that?
I know was it Family, what's it called? Family, I want to say Family Matters. That was the show.
No, you're thinking of Focus on the Family. No, this
Yeah,
was called
something
Insight for Living.
Oh, Insight for Living. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And he wrote
Okay.
a bunch of books, and
Yep.
he's still alive and still preaching. It's amazing.
That is amazing.
But anyway, a phrase he said, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how I react to it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, just a sense, this is in our court to figure out, are we bringing our fun? Are we bringing our joy? Are we bringing a positive attitude?
Yeah. I'm going to steal that Take Your Fun With You for Iris when she...
That's great.
That's awesome. Okay, number 13. Your best ideas won't come from behind a desk. Innovation comes when you're close to the problem. Listen to the people you serve. Woo. That's similar to one that we talked about. I don't remember which one it was. That like your job is not to make the decisions, but to I don't remember what it was.
Finding the genius in the room.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one's all about. There's a sense if you're a senior leader at your church, then you may not think of yourself in the C-suite or the ivory tower or whatever, but you kind of are in the eyes of people in your church. Like they think it's super cool when they get to go in your office. And I remember at Willow, the offices where the senior pastor and executive pastors were. I mean, it took a bit to get there. And when we first got there, you had to go through 14 locked doors and a key card and a strip search practically to get in there. Not quite. Okay, I'm exaggerating. But there was a bit to get there. And so we took down some doors and took off some locks, took down some walls, just to try to bring people, and then started having people, events and things in that area so people felt comfortable. But one thing I learned is like you have to get out of your office. Like I would constantly ask my assistant when she's scheduling meetings with someone else in the building, I want to meet in their office, or let's meet in the coffee shop or down in the lobby or whatever, and just get out and begin to learn what you're going to learn, not from behind a desk. You know, that lesson, truth rolls downhill. That's another one that we have here. And do you remember William always used to say, last day I heard the truth was the first day I became the CEO?
Yes.
Is that how he said it?
Yeah.
And in a sense that like people are not going to tell you the truth. You have to really go find the truth and put yourself out on the front lines.
I will say my only one on that one though is just that it doesn't mean to distrust your people. Like, oh, they're not telling me the truth.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be like that. It's meant to be like put on you to make sure that you are asking the right questions and asking the right people, not to like put up a wall between you and your team.
Yep.
You know, does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. The next one, number 37. The older I get, the less I know. Time has a way of humbling you. Stay curious, stay teachable, and keep growing. That curiosity, I think, is a theme throughout our 40 lessons.
Yes. And we talked about it around the fire pit.
Last night. Yeah, we did.
But I just I think this is probably true for most people. So I'll ask you if this is true for you. At 16, did you think you know more than you know now?
Oh, yes.
Like
for sure. Or I think about like 28 to me. Yeah. Like I still think back to like, for me personally, 28 was like my favorite age. Because I was so confident. Like I was old enough to be taken seriously, but young enough to still be like, oops, I didn't know, you know? And yeah, it surprised me how the older I get, the more anxiety I have, which you would think it would be the opposite, which actually we talked about skydiving in our last episode.
We did.
So the second time I was not nervous at all the first time I went skydiving, like zero nervousness. The second time I went, I was really nervous. And I asked the lady at the place, I was like, I'm feeling like anxious about this. Is that normal? But I've done this before. And she was like, that's why. Because now you know exactly what could go wrong. So it's like now you know what to worry about. And that's just hit me recently. I feel like in my like, I don't know, I feel like it's like been post-COVID for me, which is like my, you know, kind of early 30s on, where I'm like, yeah, now I'm more anxious the older I'm getting because now I know all of the things to worry about. Whereas like when I'm in my 20s, it's like, you don't even know about all the things to worry about.
And there's more at risk, right? When you have a child.
The stakes are higher. Yeah, because your cost of living is probably increased. There's more things you're responsible for. There's, that's a good point.
I just find like, you know, when I was 18, and part of it had to do with growing up in a Baptist, a conservative Baptist environment where there's a lot of lists. Like you don't have to wonder what's right or wrong. They're going to tell you there is a list.
Yes.
Like everything's completely black and white. And you grow up in that, and there's a lot of good that I gained from that, but or from that environment. But you do have a sense of like, man, everything is pretty clear. And then you know, life hits you in the face and you go through some things and some years and all that. And I find now there's like very few things that I know. Like it's pretty limited. In fact, the last book I wrote, Marked by Love, pretty much, I mean, you could argue to say it's like, okay, this is like, I don't know a lot. There's a lot of things I don't know. There's a lot of things I'm still trying to figure out. But one thing I do know, it's that as a follower of Jesus, my job is to love people well. Bottom line, that's it.
Yeah.
And so there's 1,000 theological things that people get really passionate about debating. Like, I don't even care. Can I say that on here? It's my podcast, right?
Yeah, this is your podcast. You say whatever you want, Tim.
I don't care. I definitely don't care to argue it because it's like, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm right. It doesn't matter. That's not the issue.
Okay, this next one, I feel like we could do a whole episode on this because I've learned this from you. This is like one of the things I feel like when I think of Tim Stevens, I think of this phrase, which is always believe the best. You want others to assume the best of your motives and intentions. Do the same for them. And you know this about me, I'm notorious for like reading an email or a text and assuming the worst. Like, and it's usually self-critical, like they're disappointed in me or I've done something wrong or I'm not good enough. Like, it's rarely about the other person. It's all like my own inner story I'm telling myself. And you're always just so good about like, but what if you looked at it from the other perspective, you know, and you assumed the best. We were just talking about this on the drive here about assuming the best. So why is this one of your 40 lessons?
Why? It is definitely core to who I am. I probably won't get to pick what goes on my tombstone. I actually don't want a tombstone, so it's irrelevant.
Do you want to be cremated?
Yeah, I think so. Just
Yeah, me
put
too.
me in an urn. Actually, don't even put me in an urn.
Sprinkle you on the Notre Dame field.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah. While you're skydiving next time, you get
Yes.
a salt shaker off to the side. No, but if I got to choose, like it would either be like he was marked by love, which I don't think would be on my tombstone because that's still aspirational for me, or he always believed the best in others. Like I think that would be, if that were true on the day I die, I think that would be pretty cool. It's just very important to me. Pat Lencioni, I think it's in The Advantage. Might be in Working Genius.
Assuming the best.
The fundamental attribution error, where he talks about that.
I think it's in The Advantage.
So what that is he says we desperately want others to believe the best in us, while it's human nature to believe the worst about others' motives and intentions.
Yes.
So, a car comes speeding past you and you just think they're a-hole idiot.
It's your podcast, Tim. You can say whatever you want.
You do not think the best thoughts about them. But when you're speeding past because your wife just is going to urgent care or something,
right,
you want others to believe the best in you. So you attribute negative to them and you want other people to attribute positive to you. I know Andy Stanley talks about it as the gap. He says that a gap exists between what you anticipate or desire to be true and what actually occurs. So whether that's a work relationship or a personal relationship or any situation, you have two options. If there's a gap, there's two options. You either fill it with suspicion or you fill it with trust. And human nature is fill it with suspicion, assume the worst again. And it takes discipline. Like it just takes effort. It takes reps to be like, nope, let's just assume the best and the most positive. This person's late again, whatever. You can either suspicion, they're lazy, whatever, undisciplined, or you can fill it with trust, even when sometimes the data tells you not to do that.
Right. Or just to be curious, right?
Yep.
To not assume like, oh, they're probably just doing the right thing and they had some reason. It's like, be curious about why and assume the best.
Yep.
Brene Brown talks about this, and I don't remember which book it was, but she tells the story about she's in this executive team meeting and one of her executive team members, I think she was coming into the meeting and she was like, hey, Tom, or whatever his name was. And it's a great name, by the way, Tom, our audio producer. Tom, whatever. No, great name. Anyway, and she's like passing him and says like, good morning. And he kind of mumbled under his breath. And her inclination was to be like, he's fired immediately. Like, we can't have his attitude around here. And then she like paused and was like, what if there's something deeper going on? And approached him and was like, hey, the story I'm telling myself is that you don't want to be here. You're really frustrated. You're not aligned with our team. And he was like, oh my gosh, no. Like, I just got news this morning that my daughter, like, it was like some terrible news. And so she's telling the story that, basically just to what you're saying, like, it was on her assuming that he had these bad intentions when really he was just not even capable of showing up his best that day because of what was going on in his personal life. And so then she could meet him where he was as a leader, So such a good reminder.
It does take, like, it is not natural. Even though it's like core to who I am, I have to tell myself, believe the best, believe the best. At Willow, one of our 5 staff values was believe the best. And we would often, after that kind of got into the water, so to speak, you'd see in meetings people like, reminding each other. It's like, hey, let's just believe the best. Like, we don't have all of the facts. Let's be curious. Let's ask some questions. Until we know otherwise, let's believe the best.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. You want to transition to our fun segment of Finish My Sentence?
Yes.
With Chad and my...
Okay.
Funny story about this.
Yeah.
So last night we're sitting around your fireplace, and I can't remember why you were using Chad, but something around Chad. And I was like, oh, he knows his name is Chad. And you're like, yeah, I named him. And I was like, I wonder what mine is named. And so I start talking to my Chat GPT, and I was like, or no,
yeah.
Or you said, what's your name to my Chat GPT?
I did. That's right.
And she goes, hi, my name's Holly. What's your name? And I was like, what?
She stole your name.
It didn't help that I watched a thriller movie on my flight here to Chicago about like AI robots taking over. And so I was like, she's taking on my identity. Anyway. Okay. So what's the game?
That's great. Okay. So here's what we're gonna. If you haven't been here before, you may not know, but we internally refer to Chat GPT as Chad. Your Chad is a woman. My Chad's a man.
What's the
Yeah. So
I was trying to think what a
as
female
you
version
use
of
Chat
chat is.
GPT, it gets to know you. It begins to like, because you've just been interacting with it and whatever. So I'm going to use my Chad to ask some questions, and I'm going to ask him to answer the question as though he is me. And then Holly's going to do the same thing with her Chad.
Yeah.
And we're going to see if how well our Chads know us.
I have a question.
Okay.
Because I have a custom GPT. So I can use regular Chat GPT on here that
Yeah.
does know like all of my, I have a project for every
Yeah.
client,
Yeah.
like all that stuff. Or I have a custom GPT built into this that I could use that I call Anna, because Anna Baker is like the second half of my brain. And so this is the Chat GPT version of her that is preloaded with like my personality assessment.
I say use that one.
My mission, my vision, my values. Can I use that one?
Yeah.
Okay,
I say use
cool.
that one. And especially since she has a name.
I know.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do all of mine. And
Yeah.
then
Okay, cool.
I'll turn my Chat off, and then you can do all yours.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Chad. This is Tim here again. How you doing?
Hey, Tim. I'm doing great. Thanks for checking in again. How are you and Holly doing?
Hey, she is still here with me. Thanks for recognizing that. So here's what we're going to play another game here, and I want you to finish a sentence. We're going to do 4 sentences. I want you to finish these sentences as though you are me. Like with everything you know about me, you're going to finish the sentence as though you think it's true about me. Does that sound good?
That sounds like a fun challenge. I'm ready whenever you are. Go ahead and give me the first sentence to finish.
Okay. My biggest pet peeve is.
Probably when meetings start late or when there's a lack of clear communication, especially when everyone's time is valuable.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Second to that would be spilling my pop in my lap.
Hop?
Coke. I knew you were going to get me on that.
Oh my God.
Okay, Chad. Second question would be, if I wasn't consulting pastors and churches, what would my day job be?
Ooh, I think you'd probably be doing something creative, maybe writing full time or even hosting a podcast or show where you get to share stories and inspire people.
I mean, you're living
All
your
right.
dream.
All right. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. Third question. When I get to the end of a really long day, I like to
unwind with a good book, maybe enjoy a relaxing drink, and just spend some quality time with family or friends just to recharge.
That's good. What would be my drink of choice?
I'm guessing it would be something like an old fashioned, especially with a unique twist, maybe some smoked rosemary or something creative like that.
That's pretty good. Okay. For those Baptists out there, he said Diet Dr. Pepper. He didn't say old fashioned. Okay. Last question, Chad. If I didn't live in the suburbs of Chicago, I'd probably live.
I think you'd probably choose somewhere warm and sunny, maybe a coastal city or somewhere with a really vibrant community vibe, just to enjoy the atmosphere and maybe the beach.
That's actually pretty good. All right. That was pretty impressive. All
He's
right.
so nice.
Isn't he nice?
Yep.
Is Anna just as nice?
Yeah, but she's like very upbeat and energetic.
Okay.
You'll love her.
Might be too much for me.
Yeah, probably. Especially with me, with this
Yeah,
Holly and the Anna
right.
Holly, or
That's-
whatever her identity is becoming.
Ask her her
Okay.
name, by the way, to start out. I'd like to know what she thinks her name is.
Oh. Hey, I'm sitting here recording a podcast with Tim Stevens, but remind me, what's your name?
You're chatting with Anna.
Oh, it
I'm
is.
your personalized brainstorming buddy, designed to tailor everything around how you think, work, and dream. So
Wow.
what are you and Tim Stevens cooking up? Share feedback here /forms ELEOGYRV6.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
She is stodgy.
Okay,
She's
couple things.
She's a
well,
little.
so this is like, we're going to get really nerdy here for a second.
Okay.
And,
But we got limited time. So you
okay, I know, I got to hurry. So the custom GPT
Yeah.
that my friend is working on, so I'm like a beta user. That's why it says like the share feedback here, forms,
Oh,
blah,
okay.
blah, 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 blah. So just ignore that. Secondly, she has a different voice than my regular Chat GPT.
So which one are you going to use? You can use the other one?
I like the other voice better, but this one's going to give better answers. So
Okay.
what do you think?
All right. Yeah, it's your choice.
Okay, I'm going to use this one. But the other
She
one
sounds
is like a cheerleader.
librarian. Like
I
a
know.
librarian with something.
I don't know why her voice is different. But anyway, we're going to go with it.
Okay.
Okay, let's play a game. I'm going to ask you some questions and you're going to respond with your answer. And so the first one is,
with
hold
her
on.
answer based on
With,
you.
oh, yeah. You're going to respond with your answer based on everything you know about me. Sound good?
She's slow.
Got it. I'm answering as if I were you, based on everything I know about how you think and feel. Ready when you are. What's the first question? Share feedback here. Us form smell. Jap tug wire V6.
Wow, this is going well.
I know, sorry. Okay, the first one is my biggest pet peeve is...
My biggest pet peeve is when people waste time in meetings with no clear direction or when there's unnecessary red tape that slows down progress. I just want to move things forward and make something happen.
That was similar to mine, right?
I know, which that's the thing about Chat GPT 4.0 is like, I think if you look at a lot of websites right now, there's a lot of phrases that are being used. Like even on mine, like I love the phrase chaos to clarity. I originally got it from my Chat GPT and I see it now on all that in like the messy middle. I see it on all these websites.
Okay, you're getting nerdy. You got to
Okay,
go back
all
to
right.
the game.
We should do an episode on AI.
Okay.
Okay, next one. Okay, the second question is, if I wasn't consulting pastors and churches, I would probably be doing what?
If I wasn't consulting pastors and churches, I'd probably be coaching individuals one-on-one, helping them map out bold goals and figure out how to actually achieve them. Maybe even building something of my own, like a business or a movement that empowers people to unlock their potential and shake up the status quo.
Yes.
So she's actually defined exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, it's almost like she helped me build my business plan.
Yeah.
Go to thereadynetwork.com. Check it out. Okay.
Shameless
Okay,
plug.
the next one is when I get to the end of a really long day, I like to what?
Because when I get to the end of a really long day, I like to unwind by talking things out with someone close, just processing out loud, maybe going for a walk, or even listening to a podcast that sparks new ideas. That's how I reset and feel human again.
Thank you. That is very accurate. Okay, if I didn't live in Houston, where do you think I would live?
If you didn't live in Houston, I could totally see you in a place like Nashville, or maybe even somewhere like Denver, somewhere with creative energy, strong community vibes, and a little bit of adventure. Somewhere you could have deep conversations at a local coffee shop and then go hiking or hit up a live event.
That is true. That's interesting. I said, I don't know that she knows that I'm originally from Nashville.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I would not want to live in Denver, but I do like to visit. Yeah, I only have 3 bars, so maybe that's why it was slow. But
Should we tell the listeners to our podcast that if they want to share feedback, they go to 68.392121416?
that's amazing. Yes, we should.
Okay.
That was fun. Thanks for Tim. Those were good questions. Yeah, use Chat GPT. It's a great thing. All right. Before we close out today's episode, I want to remind you to go download 40 Lessons in 40 Years at LeadingSmart.com. And then we want to tell you about one of our partners that makes this podcast possible, as well as everything we do at LeadingSmart possible, which is Thrivent. Chris and David at the Thrivent team have been joining our LeadingSmart gatherings, and they help with church funding. So this is where my eyes start to glaze over, and I'm like, numbers and spreadsheets. And Chris and David are like, and Tim are like, tell me more. Let's dig in. And Thrivent has a really important mission to help support churches through loans. And a lot of times that's, with a building or any other big initiative that they're doing where they would need a church loan. Thrivent would love to help your church do that. So, Tim, what else would you like to say about Thrivent?
Just my history in church borrowing is you need an institution that understands churches because they understand that you measure success and growth different than a business does. So I think these guys understand churches.
Yeah, they definitely do. And are just so passionate. Like even David, every time he comes to one of our events, he's like, I learned so much because he's an elder at his church.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's on the finance committee, which makes total sense.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, in our next episode, really excited for you guys to hear Tim interview his Granger OG team. And so they're going to kind of walk down memory lane and look back over those 20 years about what it was like to really build Granger from the ground up, from about 200 when you started there all the way to about 6,000. So That'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you there.